Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Final Fantasy VI fans. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another fantastic race for Worlds Collide. My name is Gar, and I'm joined in the booth by Dwaya. What's going on, my friend? How are you tonight?
Hey, I am doing fantastic. I'm looking forward to a great race. It's been a great week. How are you?
Oh, absolutely feeling the same. This is our Ultros League. This is Ultros League number 7, if I am not mistaken. We are in week 6, and tonight we are bringing you the Elixir B matchup. This is going to be a head-to-head between Physics Shebang and Judge Joe, number 1 and number 2, respectively, in that division, separated by just one single point. So, gonna be a fantastic race for you all tonight. We are greatly looking forward to showcasing this very, very exciting race for you all.
Yeah, and with the times that they've been putting out, it's one of those if you blink too long, you're going to miss it. They have had fantastic runs, doing a great job, so I'm sure we're all going to be entertained tonight.
All right, pardon the silence there. We are just setting up some last-minute things. You all know how it goes. But yeah, for those of you who do not know, who may be tuning in for the first time, welcome first. We hope you enjoy. This is our Ultros League flag set, and in order to complete the seed, our runners must find 6 characters and 9 espers. So the way that they go about doing that is there are what we call checks in the game that are related in some way to the characters that you acquire. We start with 3. So each character, depending on who it is, will have unique checks associated with that character. So we're going to find an additional 3 friends. We're going to find 9 espers, shiny pieces of magicite that will improve our party by teaching them spells and giving them bonuses on level up. And once we have that, we can go into Kefka's Tower and challenge the man, the myth, the god himself.
Not only that, but if they do manage to get 9 characters, 12 espers, or 22 skips, they can skip straight to the end to where you would normally fight the statues in vanilla and save themselves about 4 or 5 minutes of running through that long tower. So, our runners are definitely going to be trying for their unlock because that's what they have to do, but there's a good chance that they might be also trying for that skip just to save a little bit of time. So I can't wait to see which way they're going to go and what they're going to
prioritize. Personally, I like going for the skip. I go for it, or I'm starting to go for it a little bit earlier than other people might, but it's just because you get so much power from levels, and doing more checks means you get more levels, and getting more levels means you do more damage, and doing more damage means you kill stuff faster. So we're gonna give our runners another few seconds here.
And just real quick, I'm going to answer a question that came through in chat about how long a race roundabout usually is. It all depends on the experience of the runners. Normally, you can expect anywhere between probably on average 115 to 130. These runners, with the experience that they have, are probably going to be around the 120, give or take a few minutes. But you can also have times as low as, 1 hour occasionally if the seed is really, really generous. Or if the seed decides to be really mean because rando is gonna rando, it could be all the way up to 2 hours. However, not sure we're gonna see that tonight at all.
Yeah, it really does depend on what the seed decides to throw at you, and how you, like, sometimes one runner will find something that the other runner doesn't, and then that gives them a huge advantage. I would say that if you are brand new, like maybe you have some vanilla experience and you're trying the randomizer out for the first time, don't be discouraged if it winds up taking upwards of a couple of hours. It does take a while to wrap your head around the concept of the character checks and memorizing where they are and all of that stuff. So, yeah, do not let that be a deterrent for you. Meanwhile, we are off to the races.
We have Setzer, Mog, and Celis.
I did not see any of their abilities yet, but that is a pretty decent start. You can wind up getting what we call free checks from here in South Figaro's basement, where you see Judge Joe on your left going now. We do apologize for his text, by the way. I'm pretty sure that he did this on purpose. Anyway, a free check is something where you don't have to kill any bosses or any enemies like that in order to get your reward. You can just go in and grab it. And so here, one of Celeste's checks is where you would originally find her in the basement in the vanilla game. Now, there could be a character, an Esper, or a high-tier item. And we do see an offering there for Judge Joe in the South Figaro World of Balance relic shop. Very, very interesting. There's a lot of weapons that pair very well with an offering. So we'll see if we find any of them in our initial loot path here.
Well, you know that they're going to be making notes to go back to that if they do find any one of those weapons.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It is a little unfortunate because you have to scrape together a pretty significant amount of cash in order to pick up an offering. Pretty sure that one was in the 50,000 range. So items in this game sell from anywhere from 1 gold to 65,535 gold. Items that you normally can't buy, like that offering, for example, well, we decided that they're generally game breaking enough to where they justify having more or less the max price applied to them.
So we're already seeing some divergence. Now, the way that these checks are set up, these runners are going to probably do a little switcheroo here as soon as they finish with them. But like you said, we've got Judge Joe going for the Celis check, but we also have Physic Shebang going for the Collington free check that's under Setzer. This is where you would find him in the World of Ruin. So this check can be done in either world. It can be either a character, an Esper, or, as we saw, an item.
I did not see what item that was, Dwayne. Do you know what that was?
It was an Aura Lance.
Okay. Not the best of items. And then there was a Bahamut Esper there for Joe. So I imagine that, like you said, both of them are going to high five, swap locations. Judge Joe is going to get his Aura Lance. Physic Shebang is going to get his Bahamut, excuse me. I also saw a Flame Shield there in Returner's hideout. So very, very interesting loot so far.
Well, what's interesting with that Flame Shield is I saw Merton on that Bahamut Esper, so that's one piece of the Merton protection puzzle.
Oh, that's spicy. I love a good Merton seed. Merton, in my opinion, is the best spell in the game for a number of different reasons. But the big catch is that you have to protect your party from its effects because it will microwave you too if you're not ready for it. So Flame Shield absorbs the fire portion of Merton, which is a fire wind elemental spell. So, and there's a handful of pieces in the game too that'll provide that protection. For example, I think Judge Joe picked up a Rage Ring in one of the pots. That will also, and then EXP egg. That is probably the best relic in the game. Forget about Merton. So like I was mentioning earlier, everybody wants levels. And if you can get double the levels, why wouldn't you? That's exactly what it does. EXP egg is just way too good to not take advantage of. And according to chat, it looks like we do have a Sword Tech user. Not 100% sure who it is, but that is a very, very good candidate for holding that egg for basically the whole seed.
Well, and as Chad also pointed out, to go along with that EXP egg, that Bahamut has a Magic +2, I believe, Magic Power +2.
Oh, wow. That is what a spicy seed. We're not even 5 minutes in, and this is already shaping up to be pretty phenomenal.
I know, right? I'm so excited about this.
Oh, and it looks like we found a second Aura Lance, probably in South Figaro basement, and Judge Joe opting to sell one for some early seed capital.
I mean, unless you have a jumper, which I'm not sure if we do or not, because I wasn't able to see fast enough. I mean, 2 Aura Lances, that gets you pretty close to that offering, if we so choose.
It does. We'll see if the jump command comes in handy. It's possible that we find somebody with the natural jump, which would probably be preferred. But if we don't, we'll need to get some Dragoon boots, and we're also going to want to get a Dragon Horn for those multi-bounces. Looks like a 28,000 gil Zen Thief in the World of Balance. That's not too bad. I think that Judge Joe is going to try and go for it here.
Oh, absolutely. You definitely want to get those espers going as soon as possible, get those bonuses going, and whatever magic is on them. You mentioned Dragon Horns. There was also a Dragon Horn with that offering. So if the jump command does come into play, there you go.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of ways that the seed can open up so far. So magic power tends to be very, very good early on, especially with that flame shield. What's good about the flame shield early is that it can teach you fire 2 at a ×5 rate. And so while it's not the best spell, it is certainly enough to get you off the ground, and then that +2 mag pow going to boost that up even more. Just don't forget to equip that, please. It would be very bad if you did so.
Exactly. Now, okay, here's a question for you, Gar. With the party that we have right now and the items that we've found, are you thinking Opera House because of those grind fights in there?
I would say that Opera House, like, you can do it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad check because there are fixed encounters that you can do there. I'm personally not a fan. And I'm personally not a fan because every time I do an early Opera House, it's always something bad at the end, like a goddess or a Magi Master, something that I'm not very well equipped to deal with. And the reason why that's bad is that if you can't kill it, well, then you've used up a bunch of time trying. So I personally would take off my Moogle Charm and do some random encounters, probably just wherever you want to, really. And then I'm probably heading just straight into Magitech facility.
That is a nice check. Well, we've been throwing out checks a lot, but maybe we should go over the characters we have and the checks that are available. We've already talked about Celeste and her 3 checks, one being the Opera House, where you do the famous scene in the vanilla where you actually sing the opera. They won't be singing the opera, but they will go into the rafters if they so do choose to do that check. The other one is the Magitech facility that has 3 possible rewards in it, both at the Ifrit spot, the number 24 spot in the middle, and at the very end whenever they exit Magitech.
Yep, that's right. One thing to note, too, is that for the Magitech facility, the first 2 portions, those can only reward an Esper or an item. The third check after the minecart ride, and where you would normally fight number 127,916, and then the cranes, that one will be either a character or an Esper. So that is guaranteed progression there. Setzer is nice because he has what I like to call 2.5 checks, where you can go into the Collingen Inn and find whatever is there, and you can go into Daryl's tomb and find whatever is there. But you also get the option to search the skies, which will automatically put you into an encounter with what is normally Doomgaze in vanilla. In vanilla, it was a lot more annoying to encounter him because he existed on one tile, and you kind of there was no way to know where he was. You had to fly around until you randomly ran into him. Setzer just lets you do that automatically, and that is very nice.
Exactly. And in this flag set, the escape is turned off of Doomgaze, or if we encounter Doomgaze, he will not run away.
That is correct. And it looks like Celeste has Magitech, so yeah, I would be jamming Magitech so hard right now, and the reason why is because if you go through the entirety of Magitech, of the Magitech factory, you get access to the entirety of the Magitech command. In the vanilla game, when you very first start, Terra has the expanded list to include like an instant death move, a multi-target poison move, and a move called Tech Missile, which is maybe the second best ability in the game. Tech Missile is the flare spell that's a lot faster, and it also sets the sap status. It is very, very, very good, especially with that magic power, Esper.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I went on my whole Doomgaze tangent, I was totally distracted because I saw that Magitech on Celis. I will fully admit that.
No, that's totally fine. So we do have some divergence here from the runners. Judge Joe opting to go up top and complete one of Mog's checks, which is sorry, that is Lone Wolf. Now it looked like a Valiant Knife.
That was a Valiant Knife.
And you know who can wear that Valiant Knife is a Mog. You know what pairs well with that Valiant Knife?
Is that an offering?
It might be an offering. Wow,
it's an offering.
So yeah, Judge Joe, getting some stuff off the ground here. Physics Shebang, meanwhile, looks like he did go into the Opera House and is taking on these encounters up here in the rafters, which appear to be some mid-range World of Ruin enemies. So some pretty good experience there, actually. So as long as the boss up here isn't too terrible, then we should be in a pretty decent spot coming out of this. Joe, meanwhile, has a little bit more trouble just because he's got 3 party members that he has to knock down to 2 for this particular fight. And again, if this is rude, he winds up losing some time here. But Magitech, Celeste, and then a Valiant Knife Mog should be okay.
Better than okay. I mean, that's your seed 1 almost right there.
Oh yeah, I mean this seed was solved, a while ago.
So everybody, grab your popcorn and get ready for some big numbers.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a very phenomenal watch.
So, okay, we went through Celeste and Setzer's checks. Mog, we saw the Lone Wolf check up at the World of Balance mountain cliff there. We also have the Moogle defense, where in the vanilla game, the Moogles help Locke save Terra at the very beginning of the game. And those are the 2 checks for Mog.
Yep. It is worth noting that what Judge Joe right now, what he's doing right now is the Narsh defense check, or we call it Kefka Narsh. Now anybody can do this check. This is one of the checks that is available to anyone, regardless of your party or who's in it. You can just do this. It's good to pair this with the Mog check because, I mean, well, heck, it's right there. You do Lone Wolf, then you circle back around and do this. And at the end of this, you get warped back down to the bottom, so you don't have to descale the cliff, which is a pretty nice time save. I remember having to do that back in the day.
Absolutely. And the thing about Kefka Narsh is unless you're going up there for Mog, it's really hard to route that in sometimes. Now, unfortunately, Judge Joe did not get the skip past these soldier NPCs where you can avoid these battles, but a little bit of XP here and there isn't going to hurt him.
No, not at all. Does unfortunately get his Mog knocked down, so gonna have to take care of that. Physics Shebang finding nothing but a bunch of fish in the Opera, takes it down, no problem. So we'll see what the reward is here. I'm gonna say that it's Go-Go.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna predict. I always want Terra. I'm gonna say Terra.
We're both wrong.
Oh well.
All right. So
right. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this could either be an Esper or an item, and we'll find out here shortly.
That's a field.
Well, you want Merton protection. There's another piece to the puzzle. And
yeah,
then,
I would not be sad to see that actually.
Yeah, I would be a little sad, but only a little. Only because it's not like an Illumina or something, but I'm a sucker for big sticks. And then Physics Shebang opting to go just straight to Magitech Factory. He knows what he wants. Judge Joe, meanwhile, finding an Atma weapon. Should be able to get through this just fine. With a combination of beams and some very excellent use of runic there, that'll mostly avoid a lot of nasty stuff that he can throw at you.
That's very true. Unfortunately, this is not the Atma weapon that we'd really want to see, right?
Oh, I like this Atma weapon. This one gives you an elixir. The other one doesn't give you anything.
No, I was talking about the big stick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a pretty good big stick. But then he'd have to... Oh, no! Multi-target stone? Okay.
Ooh.
Stone is so bad. Stone is... It's so bad.
I think you're speaking from experience here.
Just a little bit. But yeah, no, I would like a lightsaber.
Oh, hey, look who it is. That is a Magimaster at Ifrit.
That's unfortunate.
That is kind of gross. Now,
it may be possible to do this. You have to crack your flame shield, and then you have to use your Bahamut.
well, yeah, he used his Bahamut. Now, he does have sword tech, so he can damage it.
He does have scan, so you can do the really old school strat and scan into his weakness. But I don't think he saved before this, so he's gonna have a heck of a time here. Oh, he does have flare. Okay,
Okay, yeah, good.
That makes things a little simpler, and he doesn't have that much HP.
Oh yeah, he can do this. It's possible. It takes a little bit longer than, say, if he would have had Berserk, but it's possible.
Berserk or Reflect, although Reflect would make this flare a pretty bad move.
That is true. I always forget about those Reflect strats on Magimaster.
It's somewhat forbidden lore. But one more flare ought to put him away.
And you never have to see him again. He will not be in KT, which is always the best thing.
Ooh, okay.
No.
That was rude. So now basically he has to dodge. Okay. So I think that this is basically the best case scenario.
Absolutely.
I was going to say,
do it.
Yeah, this will put him away. Mog actually could have brought up Celeste, but I totally understand where Physic is coming from. You want to get out of here as quickly as possible. That did not kill him. Oh no.
I would be shaking in my shoes right now if I was Physics.
Yep, ether into more flares. Gotta do it.
And on the other side, we get Pluto armor with Marshall. Now, in our flag set, we have randomized the monsters that will come with Marshall. Instead of his Lobos, we can get things like Pluto armor, or what's some of the other ones? I know Duelers. You can get some... Well, you can get Red Wolves. Those are probably like the closest Lobos that you can get. You can get some Tap Dancers. You can get retainers, all manner of nasty critters, and that was a vanilla Marshall there, so you love to see it. That's true. Looks like we got an Esper with Mute on it on Physics side, and Ultima on Judge Joe's side.
Huh, how about that? That's not bad at all.
I mean, this is setting up to be a pretty spicy magic seed.
Oh yeah, 100%. Physic, I bet is just glad to get through that Magimaster. This is also potentially rude, although significantly less rude than Magimaster.
That's true. Now, thankfully, this Atma, he will not absorb fire, ice, and bolt like he will water, wind, pearl, and the stuff like that. So Physics has the offense to get through him. It might take a little longer, probably not, I think his scaling is pretty good right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have that much HP, and Atma tends to be pretty soft to magic, but yeah, hitting him with any of the, I guess, non-standard elements, anything non-fire, ice, and lightning, will heal him, so don't do that.
Yeah. And then we have Judge Joe finishing off my least favorite boss in the game, Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno's a nasty one. Good to get him out of the way early.
Absolutely.
I think that was Search the Skies for that.
Yes. And then that's for that too.
Tri-talk. All right. And then just an ice shield there for Physic. Another piece of Merton protection. Well, I think we've got it all, right? We've got a Flame Shield, a Thunder Shield, a Rage Ring, and, well, I don't know if Physic picked up the Rage Ring, but... 3 elemental shields. Though. Yeah. And there is a Rage Ring in the seed, so as long as one of the characters can wear it, yeah, Merton is on the table. Wow, what a seed.
No kidding. And on Joe's side, we are doing Daryl's Tomb.
Yep. Not a terribly long one. I do kind of wonder if he's going to check the monster in a box here. He knows that offerings are available for purchase, but if you can get one for free and get a bunch of money in the process, we'll see if that is enticing enough.
Very true.
This is one of those things where I think he picked up a debilitator, but it is hard to tell reading this text.
Yeah, I am having a very hard time every once in a while trying to figure out what is actually on some of these espers and things because of that. Very ornery of you, Judge Joe. Very ornery.
I'm calling him out in the post-race interview.
Oh, please do.
So this, I think, is Physic's last encounter here on the minecart before the boss. Does not look like it was anything too terrible. This one isn't too bad either, although the weird guy can sneeze your party members, which is always a feel-bad moment.
Ooh, Gigantos.
The big Gantos himself. Not the Katana Soul we were really hoping for, but also it's a whole mess of experience. So, and Mog is unfortunately going to get none of it.
Oh, poor Mog.
Yeah, poor guy.
On the job.
Sorry, I guess they had one more encounter there on the tracks for Physic. Now comes the boss. And it's Chatty Daddy. Oh no.
Ooh, the Batternook himself.
And Terra sleeps in Daryl's tomb. Wow.
Best girl.
I agree. I'm much more of a Terra fanboy than like a Celeste fanboy, but
good. Finally, somebody that agrees with me while I'm doing comms. I love it.
I know that Saberwolf has other opinions, but I want to state for the record that his opinion is inferior to mine, and I'm sorry that you had to hear it here. He's gonna beat me up after this.
He totally is. He's gonna have words with you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Magic Terra 1985 says Terra is the main character, and heck yes, I agree.
Okay, back to the game. Chatternook is down before we get ourselves in trouble even more.
Chatternook is dead, and shortly followed by the Stooges. So yeah, we'll see what flavor of Terra we wind up getting here.
Blitz Terra.
It is a control Terra. Yeah, not my favorite. I would say that is like the strawberry of flavors. Meanwhile, how about a Realm? A throw realm with a big 54 magic power. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Why can't I have seeds like this?
I can't complain. Megalixir gets seeds like this all the time. A single fire beam kills the Tritalk. So Physic is now all of a sudden in a very, very good spot.
Absolutely.
Has
So,
the big realm, has the tech missile online.
and he's going to go straight to Esper Cave, which I would do that as well. It's a
Oh,
peekable
yeah.
check. We can see whether it's going to be a character or if it's a imp, ghost, merchant, or a soldier sprite. It'll either be an Esper or an item, and it's a real quick check.
Yeah, this is too easy. Here definitely, I'm a little bit more skeptical of doing Owsers at this point in time, but I mean, I wouldn't hate it either. Like, really, it's hard to go wrong from this point. Tech missile and throw just solve so many problems.
Well, oh, and here's a daddy.
Yeah, the first it was Chatty Daddy, now it's Daddy Luma Daddy. Yeah, Daddy Daddy. 6,800 tech missile. We are not
Oh
even
my
30 minutes into
God.
the seed. My goodness.
So, now, if I have my checks right, we have physics has Owsers, Daryl's Tomb, and Kefka Narsh that he can check. On Judge Joe's side, he'll finish up Magitech, and I think this is really the only thing he has left for him other than Opera, which we know isn't a character.
Well, we have a whole smorgasbord of Terra checks that we can do. So
yeah, that's right. Yes, of course.
So we know that our character progression is currently locked behind. Daryl's Tomb. So future characters will either come from one of Terra's checks, or they're going to come from Owsers.
I would much rather have it come from Terra's checks.
Looks like Judge Joe found a Berserk on one of those Espers, so he's going to have a much easier time with this Magimaster.
Absolutely.
Managing to connect there with a physical hit. That's pretty rare. Not only does Magimaster have a bunch of physical defense, he also has a bunch of physical evade. In the vanilla game, that normally doesn't come up at all because, one, you can only use magic in the tower, in the Fanatics Tower. And second, the evade stat is bugged anyway, so evade doesn't do anything. But here, you actually you get to shine.
I completely forgot that physics had not done the Mog checks.
Yeah, he has done nothing related to Mog, so going to wind up getting his Valiant Knife here. I imagine that is going to make him feel pretty good.
Well, for sure, especially because we know he has a character that can use it.
Yep, he's got a character that can use it, and I think that he has seen the offerings, so he's going to be jamming that as soon as possible, I think.
Absolutely. So we're at about the 30-minute mark. What is our progression at right now? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, so Judge Joe has collected 6 Espers and 4 characters. Physics Shebang has collected 4 characters and 4 Espers. He is about to collect 5th Esper, if I'm not mistaken. I think that this was some flavor of progression. So, Judge Joe a little bit in the lead here, but Physic has he's done a longer checks than Judge has so far, and so I would say that they are pretty darn close. I would probably give the edge to Physic just because he's gotten his tech missile online earlier than Judge Joe has.
Absolutely, but for the most part, this might be a case of them. And what they're kind of doing right now is basically just switching back and forth like they did at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Now, after Judge Joe finish Magitech, he'll probably take that Terra and go to town with her checks, I would imagine.
That would be my guess. I do kind of anticipate him to, because he's going to pick up his realm here. We'll see what he does with that. I imagine that he takes out somebody in the party. I'm not even sure who at this point. But Throw's pretty good. So I imagine that Judge Joe is going to want to keep. Excuse me, he might replace that Terra. I'm sorry. I'm getting my characters mixed up. I thought it was Terra with Throw and not Realm with Throw. So, yeah, Judge Joe gonna find his Realm with Throw. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would probably trade out Terra as much as I love her.
Yeah, I do like her. But unfortunately, like 55 magic power that's a lot of magic power. And the ability stapled onto her is way more useful than control.
Absolutely. So Joker Mage is asking in chat if Physics is going to get a Welk. Physics doesn't have Terra yet. I don't believe.
No. Physics has not gone to Daryl's tomb, so it does not have the Terra yet. I do imagine that he is going to go there probably after Moogle Defense.
Probably.
If only because he doesn't really have any other place to go. It's either Daryl's tomb or it's Owzer's mansion, and of the two, Daryl's tomb is the quicker check.
Absolutely. So while we're at this moment where we've kind of seen what's happened on both sides, I just want to take this time to kind of give a shout out to our runners, Judge Joe, Physics Shebang. Give them support, give them a follow. They are both excellent. They're going to put on a good show for you. They already have put on a good show for you so far. So make sure that you show them some love, definitely.
100% agreed. They're not number 1 and number 2 for nothing, so go give them a follow. They're great people, just in general. So, yeah.
And that can be said for pretty much anybody in the Worlds Collide community. It's a very welcoming community, very nice, very eager to help out new players if they're wanting to learn the game. There is a mentoring program where you can one-on-one with somebody that has lots of experience. You can send in a VOD review to have somebody look it over and give you advice. But it is a very welcoming community. So if anybody out there is interested in joining, please, please, head over to the Worlds Collide Discord. We are always welcoming to new people.
Yeah, check us out, ff6worldscollide.com. You will find links to all kinds of resources there, including the aforementioned Discord. We've got a link to Wiki, which is super helpful for me and remains so to this day. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now. So, yeah, come on over. We'd love to have you. Physics, taking a look at the skies here, finds his Inferno. This is going to be a rougher Inferno fight than what Judge Joe had, but probably still not a very difficult one.
No, with a fully unlocked Magitech, I don't think it's going to be too rough.
And Judge Joe swapping out the Terra there. It is unfortunate, but you got to do what you've got to yabba dabba do.
And we see that Mog decided to hit himself, and Joe's doing that because with the Valiant Knife, the bigger the difference is between your current HP and your max HP is how much damage you're going to do with that VK. So a very smart play there if he's wanting to do a lot of damage with that physical attack.
Yep, 100%. If you're familiar with the spell Revenge, it's one of Strago's lores. The Valiant Knife is basically a knife with the Revenge property stapled onto it. Very, very powerful. It does require you to play a little riskier since you want your Valiant Knife user to be at low HP. But personally, I think it's a lot of fun to try and keep it that way.
Gar, I'm going to have to stop you right there. I don't
stopped.
think you should mention the old man's name for fear that he might show up.
Oh, I mean, at this point, if he rears his ugly head, and it is very ugly, apologies to any Strago fans out there, but yeah, nah, he's not a very good character. That's unfortunate. Now, what is potentially very exciting is this grasshopper stray cat formation. And I say that because if we find Strago, and if Strago has rage, well, then you gotta think about who you putting in there, because you want to use a stray cat, right? Stray cat does a bunch of damage.
Yeah, but with the offense that we already have, Gar, are we really going to put the old man in if he had rage?
If he had rage with stray cat, that is. Well, like I know where an offering is. Yeah, that's way too easy. I put him in every time. I take him over. I probably take him over Throw Realm, and I know that is a wild sentence to say, but Stray Cat is just that good. I keep Go-Go on the strength of Stray Cat.
You're breaking my heart, Gar. You're breaking my heart.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it's gotta be.
We'll have words.
All right, so it looks like we're gonna achieve some parity here between Judge Joe and Physics Shebang. Judge Joe just wrapped up his fight against Dataluma, and Physics Shebang is about to wrap up this fight against the Stooges.
All right, I was just trying to look at Joe's screen while he was menuing just to see if I can see if I've missed anything on the espers or anything like that. And with that font.
Oh, taking out the Sword Tech's Setzer and putting in the Terra. I also don't hate that. Merton is on the table. Your Sword Tech user has not gotten a lot of levels. And may not get the Sword Tech 7, the really big juicy damage. So,
No, I agree with you. I think with Terra's natural higher magic power and the espers that we've gotten and the spells that we've gotten, yeah, I'd do that.
The only trouble is that I have not seen either runner cast Merton yet, and I know that they can. And Dullahan would be a great place. You could put him in the microwave. Look at how microwavable he is.
I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah. How do you put a Dullahan in a microwave?
You open the door and put him in.
But I feel like he'd do like metal in the microwave and just kind of explode.
Yeah, maybe. It's worth it though.
We should try it sometime.
All right, I'm down. Okay, so Judge Joe Physics Shebang, nice high five here. I think that was a Fenrir Esper. Another fantastic one to find.
Yes, because that is a piece of our final Kefka puzzle with the Fenrir being calmness protection. Right, so what do we think we have on the table now? Where would you go?
Well, at this point, I've exhausted a lot of my options. I'm thinking that I just run straight through Esper Cave or Sealed Gate Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Joe looks like he's going to Zozo. I also don't hate that play. There is a boss, so that gives him some experience at the end of it, and the cave does not. But the cave is also really quick if you don't loot anything. Just take a couple minutes to run through and get your stuff.
Well, I'm a loot goblin, and it's really hard for me to run through Sealed Gate and not loot. I will fully admit that.
Yeah, it is tough to resist the urge. I totally get it, especially because there's 13 chests here in the Imperial camp that are just begging to be stolen from. But I think if you're Physic, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And go he does.
Well, I mean, at this point, really, what more could you be looking for?
One more elemental shield is my guess. I think that elixirs wouldn't be a bad pickup. If you can find more stuff to buy offerings, that would be fantastic. Like that wing edge there sells for a pretty decent chunk of change. Go sell it, get yourself an offering.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nobody has went to try to sell for that offering yet, and I'm actually a little surprised by that.
I am as well. I wonder if they forgot.
Maybe.
It is possible. This was at like the very beginning of the seed, and so far both runners have leaned very heavily into Magitech, and rightly so. I mean, it's doing about max damage for Judge Joe, and probably for Physic as well. So
Yeah, I mean, you put that magic.
ah,
Look what you did! Look what you did!
I hope he's got rage. Please have rage.
Look what you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, he's got lore.
Oh.
I would be ashamed if he had rage, but because he has lore, we put him on the boat and we forget about him.
Yeah, he drives the airship.
Yeah. So that's a little unfortunate because a lot of Stray Ghost checks are just bad.
Oh,
I think.
Did you see where he was at?
I hear South Figaro music.
Yes, and we're selling up to about 68, I think.
All right, there's that offering. So finally gonna unlock the full potential of his Mog there. Does not have a body armor. That is a little scary. You want your Valiant Knife user to take damage, but not that much damage. He's gonna get bopped on tier 1, and that is very scary.
Definitely. I mean, I feel bad whenever my characters are wearing a wet paper bag. That's not even wearing a bag. And we have a Cyan in Mobliz.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Judge Joe is going to take the Cyan, it looks like, just because it's right there. Physic is going to say no to the Cyan, at least for now. Gonna take a look at Fanatic's Tower. Might do it if it's an Esper, and it is. So I really like this from Physic. I think that a lot of people are unnecessarily afraid of Fanatic's Tower. It's not a bad check. It's not the best check by any means, but if you have good magic, you can generally get through this pretty easily. Plus, there's a dragon up here. Plus, there's a high tier item up here. All in all, if you do everything in the tower, you get 3 checks out of it. So it winds up being a pretty, time and check efficient way to get the skip if that's what you're going for.
Yeah, now if we could just get rid of the finger pain from having to climb all these stairs, I would totally be okay with it.
Yeah, the Stairmaster is not Square's best design, and I do not like climbing it because I also get the thumb pains. But at the top here is an economizer, so that's pretty cool, right?
Are you gonna call it again? No, it's a VK, double VK.
I mean, I tried. Do we have a Genji glove?
Oh, I don't think so, but man, if we found one, how exciting would that be?
It'd be pretty cool. Joe fighting the worst punk band in the world, Hydon and the Hydonites. But because Celeste did not get Baba Breathed away, she shoots a couple of rockets into Hydon's face, and down it goes.
Exactly. So since he picked up his Cyan, are you thinking Dome a Dream?
Well, If my tracker could be believed, this is going to be unlock for Judge Joe.
That's
Uh,
right.
so if I'm feeling saucy, I might go do a dragon. I'm also not 100% sure how many checks that he's done. If he's close to 22, then there is a chance that we do some checks that get us up to 19 tends to be the sweet spot, because at that point you go and do the opera dragon, and then you overload your middle party and do toilet atma plus the dragon that's on that side. But we are not feeling saucy. We are just going to go straight into the tower. Let's see how he divvies up his party.
You know, I have to say, with the levels that he has and the offense that they have, I'm not mad at this.
Oh, Jazer in chat pointing out that Cyan has rage. Oh my. That is.
Oh.
All right. I don't think y'all understand. I love Stray Cat. And I love everything about Stray Cat.
Go on. We're listening.
It's times 4 damage. That's it. That's the whole story. You could give Cyan a Dirk, and he's still gonna wind up popping out about 4K per cat scratch. Now, you give him an offering, he does that 4 times. It's so good. And it feels so good every time you see cat scratch. Every single time you get like a little dopamine boost. It's like, yeah, I'm doing so much damage here. And it's literally any weapon. I have cat scratched with like the aura sword that you get after you do Doma Dream. And it's really good because if you get them up to appropriate levels with good relics and everything, yeah, he'll hit like 7K a pop.
Well, and the nice thing is so Judge Joe took Cyan. Now, being in the tower and having to do the statue bosses, Cyan's going to be at the same level as pretty much everybody else. So he's a fully equipable, usable character. And with that Stray Cat, you're right. I mean, there's going to be fun times to be had.
His Cyan's level 38. That's a perfectly acceptable level. And if Judge Joe decides to juggle that offering around to get the Stray Cat procs, I would not be surprised. On the other hand, though, I totally get Judge Joe not putting him in his party, because that was the last thing that he needed in order to get the KT unlock. And so, yeah, like he might be doing what you alluded to earlier, where it's like, my offense is good enough. Let me just go ahead and take what I've got, and we'll jam with that.
Absolutely. Physics has now got his unlock.
Is he going to the tower? He is not.
He is not. Is he going up to take a dragon, perhaps? Maybe he's not feeling as comfortable.
Yeah. And again, I'm not sure how many checks Physics Shebang has. I think it's more than Joe. They've done about the same route overall, but Physics Shebang also wound up doing a few more, so he may be in a better position to try and get this check.
Joker Mage is saying he's at 18 check.
18, okay. So yeah, you do the dragon up here. You can do Tri-Talk as well, since it's right there. That'll get you to 20. You hit up the middle to get to 22. And then you've got the skip going.
Yeah. And I mean, probably get a skip before an hour mark, probably. That feels pretty good.
Yeah. Physic is gonna get the skip probably around the 56-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he will be pretty much neck and neck with Judge Joe. So that is very, very exciting. Joe had a little bit of issue there with that well getting Grood. It was a little bit of unfortunate damage with Mog there, not targeting the head, instead hitting the shell.
That's true. Hey, now, this is interesting, because Physics is fighting the Skull Dragon, and one of the natural rewards from Skull Dragon is a muscle belt. Put that on your VK user, That's a nice
Mhm.
combo.
It sure is. If you don't have, what was that? Okay.
Anyway,
Uh, Technical difficulties? I'm not even sure if that's what that was. That was funny, is what it was. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, muscle belt. If you don't already have like a red cap or something, um, it's probably the best thing that you could put on your VK user. In addition to an offering. And speaking of offering, looks like that dragon coughed one up. So nice little Valiant knife package there.
not to mention, I think both runners have 2 VKs. I think physics has 2 VKs. So if he has another person that can use that, he's got 2 VK offering users now.
That is true. I'm not even sure though who else in his party has that capability.
No, I'm not either. It was just a little note. And what do we get from TriTalk?
So this is an Esper, and I would say that this is probably a little unfortunate. I think that if you're going for checks, you want that to be dead just because it doesn't increase the scaling anymore.
That's very true. All right, and I'm going to guess, yep, he is probably going to go right up the middle. And it will make this race very tight.
Yep, because Joe is basically at the skip switches right now. But Physic is going to have a lot more damage output. And that could matter a lot on the tiers. So we'll see what happens. This is very, very close. Hello.
Ooh, that is
like an
new.
unfortunate North Cross here would be disastrous for Joe. And you really don't want your offering VK user to get that. And Realm sub 3K with the throws. That's really not where you want to be, unfortunately.
No, well the thing is wasn't that with that was with a weapon. With her magic power, it's going to be the elemental gains that would really boost.
But Joe pulling out some cool tech there, giving Realm a fire knuckle and attacking Mog, letting the fire properties of that knuckle thaw him out. That's a sick play. Very, very heads up there.
Gar, you have a question in chat specifically for you.
What are my thoughts on North Cross and freeze? If you can freeze the enemy, it's great. It's balanced and it's good, and you should do it. If an enemy freezes you, it's dumb and stupid, and I hate it. Those are my complete and unfettered thoughts on North Cross.
We have strong opinions here tonight. Between Stray Cat, North Cross, it's been a roller coaster.
Well, no. Oh, no. Judge Joe skipped the meme chest. That's so unfortunate. He is going to take a loss here this week.
Yeah. Oh, and physics. Either he forgot to put a Moogle charm on, or he took it off on purpose. I'm gonna guess.
It looks like he just made a goof.
Yes.
I
feel like we're getting subliminal messaging here.
Just a little bit. All right, so Judge Joe has cleared up the middle. That does put him a little bit ahead of Physic. He's basically going to wind up being an entire center lane down. But again, his levels are going to be a lot better than Joe's are, so it's possible that he makes up a bunch of time on the climb. White Dragon, easy enough to kill, but can waste a bunch of time if he decides to pearl 3 times in a row.
Which, of course, he will always try to do. it seems.
Yeah,
See, there you
triple
go.
pearl. Love it. Like, even I only get normally like 1. But a single tech missile taking him out there, no problem. Ultros 4 here for Joe, a little unfortunate. That's a big, juicy Sword Tech 4. Look at that, my goodness.
Ooh, that was nice to see. Yeah, the unfortunate part about this is he's not going to get any XP. So this is just a throwaway fight for sure.
Just a little bit. Speaking of Atmo weapon, we did get a big blue lightsaber for Physics Shebang. That's going to be 22 checks, and he is warping out. And we are going to hop right back in and go on the switches. Looks like we're going to save first. Always a good idea. Save whenever you can.
Now, I see that Physics picked up, and I think it was at Fanatics Tower, was that Golem Esper. So he has Calmness Protection and then 1 if he wanted to perhaps use it on Tier 1.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice. Tier 1, it gets very punchy. And, like, honestly, I think that part, unless you have some big problems on Tier 3, I think that Tier 1's actually the scariest part.
I agree. Now, it looks like Physics is feeling a little uneasy about his armor situation because he stopped in World of Ruin Albrook just to pick up some armor. I'm guessing he wasn't thrilled about wet paper bags either.
Yeah, I think his Mog was, basically just
everybody. I think Terra has leather armor. Celis has leather armor on.
Yeah, Mithril vest. Yeah. I don't know. Like, the armor situation's okay. You'll get through Tier 1 with it, but it will hurt. Okay, and that is the end of all of the statue fights for Judge Joe. So just another minute here, and he will be starting his climb. So get your guesses in as far as how long you think it's going to take for Joe to go from starting Tier 1 to delivering the final hit, the final Kefka.
Yes. And we will get his time on switches, which is at 57:31, it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna actually put my time in too. I think it's gonna take him about. We'll do 7 minutes 56 seconds for his final Kefka climb. I'm being really, really generous here.
I'm thinking 8.5.
Okay.
I'm thinking that, like, his offense is really good, but I think that his Mog is going to get knocked over a bunch. And so he's going to have to spend some time picking him up.
Quite possibly. That is definitely, especially with the Tier 1 that we were talking about, is definitely the big risk. All right, so here we go. We're going to have Mog, Celis, Setzer, and Rel for the final party.
All right, Tier 1. Tier 1's got 3 parts. There's a head, there's the long arm, which is the arm that is closest to you, the viewer, and then there is short arm, the one that's further away from you. It's curled up into a fist. The long arm can be instantly killed via break, doom, all that sort of stuff. And you see Celeste just getting one shot there. That's terrifying. That makes me feel not good.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little clenched.
X-Zone coming down here for Joe. X-Zone is one of those abilities that will kill anything that is vulnerable to it. And then it does have a pretty poor hit rate, but Joe does get it first try. Sets are going down there, a little unfortunate. Mog blocking a counter attack. And our polarity, I think, is the second worst ability in the game.
You know what? I would agree
Behind
with
Stone.
that. Behind North Cross.
North Cross at least misses a good chunk of the time. There's nothing you could do about our polarity. You just gotta put them back where they were, or don't. You don't. I guess you don't really have to, but
Oh, but with this armor situation, yeah, you really kind of do have to, I think.
yeah,
Because
you have to.
and as soon as short arm goes down with its counterattack, if it doesn't miss, it's going to immediately kill somebody.
Yep. And I think it's only a 33% chance for the short arm to counter anything, but it always feels like 90% to me. So meanwhile, Physics Shebang, working through his fights, has not had any trouble with either the Doom or the Ifrit or the Ultras 4, although we wouldn't expect any problems with that one. So very rapidly catching up to Joe here.
Absolutely. And, there is a small chance that stopping Albrook for that extra armor could actually save him some time.
It definitely could. Also, that muscle belt gives Mog something like 8,500 health.
Oh, but Judge Joe makes it through, and we're on tier 2. You mind if I take this one?
You bet. Go for it.
All right, tier 2 has 4 parts. There is Magic, the one pointing off to the left. There's Tools, the one in red in the middle. There's Tiger, which is exactly what it looks like, a tiger. And the big blue guy is Hit. Now, Magic is vulnerable to Mute, so if you have that spell, you can pretty much neutralize that part of this tier. Tools is vulnerable to instant death. So just like in the first tier, X-Zone, Doom, X-Fur, it cannot be broken. But if they would have had unlocked Sword Tech or any other kind of instant death, you can take it out. Tiger is weak to ice. Now the thing about Tiger is once you start attacking him, you better take him down, because once he gets lower in health, he can do some pretty nasty moves, such as my mind just went blank on the zombie one.
Doom Tusk.
But thank you, Doom Tusk, and South Cross, which can be pretty devastating too. Then we have Hit, who basically just does what his name says. He hits, and he can hit hard. You want to take them out, Tools first, Tiger second, Hit third, and if you can avoid the 10 hit death counter, that is for the best. Otherwise, you're just going to take it to the face. And Magic usually last, who will counter with Dispels and or Quarters.
Who doesn't want to get some quarters?
I mean,
if
not as much as they used to be.
That's true. I remember when I was a kid and I would put my quarter in and I would get the crappy gumball that had been sitting in the machine for 6 years. But I really liked it, going down like the little spiral. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I can tell you, having a 9-year-old, she still likes that and still likes the crappy gumball sitting there for, 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let her keep that magic. It is objectively fun, though. Speaking of 10 hits.
Yes.
So Physics Shebang on the Switches at 103.29, looks like. That was a Moogle Rush there for Joe. That is less damage than the Valiant Knife swings.
Yeah, he was probably not wanting to see that at all.
Yeah.
All right, and it looks like I just need to see his targeting, but I bet Tiger is down based on the amount of damage done. Yes.
Yeah. So just magic remaining, and I'm thinking that's going to kill it. Nope, maybe not. Maybe one more round.
Yeah. The good thing about magic is it can't kill you with its death counters. So there was no damage, or no fear of that.
And on to tier 3 for Joe. A little bit of a slow tier 1, but definitely making up for it with that tier 2. And this tier 3 is probably not going to be any issues whatsoever.
Absolutely. And on the other side, Physics Shebang is making quick work of the parts of Tier 1. That is probably head down, and so he's just going to be working on short arm. Take it away for Tier 3.
You got it. There are 2 parts to Tier 3. There's the floating girl head. Her name is Melissa. And then there is the guy that is laying down. I think his name is Carlos. He always strikes me as kind of a Carlos. Carlos likes to hit people for big damage. And Melissa has 9,999 HP, and she absorbs all elements. So she likes to do calmness, but it's a different calmness than the one that Carlos does. Her calmness just puts you to sleep. She also does Pearl Wind, which heals both things. Once Carlos gets below 10,000 HP, he starts countering with Meteo and Train, which will blind and silence your party. Once you kill him, he will do 1 to 2 casts of a move called Calmness, which is instant death, but it checks against your physical evade, and not your magical evade.
And Tier 3 is down very quickly.
Oh, Doctor said Juan. Juan's a good name, too. Juan Carlos?
I bet that's it. We'll go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
Workshop it.
we're about to see the great god, the man himself, Kefka, lowering from the skies in his beautiful, angelic, yet terrifying form.
I absolutely love it. And Judge Joe probably loves it too, because he's going to take him down very, very quickly. So, barring anything catastrophic happening, it does look like Judge Joe is going to be the victor here.
Yes, because on Physics Shebang's side, he got North Crossed for 2 of his people being frozen. We did not get past Fallen One, but, you know, Mog with that VK with 1 HP is going to be pretty devastating.
It seems pretty good. So as long as we don't get an Ultima anywhere in this chain of events, but it looks like Judge Joe is just going to wait for the Goner to come out. And yeah, this is going to put him away.
All right. Physics going up to his Tier 3. And that is
Crack
GG's
Pal.
for Judge Joe.
Big congratulations to Judge Joe.
We have
Let me double check his time.
Initial race time of 1:08:04.
1:08:04. Very, very quick. So yeah, sub 70 there. Just a fantastic run.
Fantastic run, fantastic seed. Both runners doing an incredible job, really showing that they've got the chops to be in that elixir tier.
Oh yeah. And we see quick strats coming out for Physics here, so gonna queue up 2 attacks with this Mog, and that is gonna put away Rest here. Juan Carlos just getting bullied, so as long as he avoids Calmness here.
Oh.
The 2 frozen characters get it. You'll love to see it. But I think that is totally fine.
And we've got Judge Joe. Hello there.
Hello.
Congratulations, Judge Joe. What a time. 1:08:04. Fantastic. Walk us through it. Tell us how you feel.
I maybe should have remembered there were viable offerings a little sooner than the 40-minute mark.
We did make comments about that.
But overall, Gauntlet offering did the job. 340 power defense piercing, pretty good.
Now, hold on a second. We did make comments about that, but what we made the most comments about was let's talk about that font color of yours.
Yeah.
I like purples and pinks and that bluish, so I kind of mix it up with stuff of that.
Now, it's not any particular color, because, I mean, I'm a black and pink guy myself, but purple on purple, my friend.
So the text color was maybe a mistake. GG's.
Yeah, crack pile for physics shebang. Looks like a 110.32 there.
Yes, GG's physics. But all joking aside, Joe, how'd you feel about that seed and all the power that you got straight away?
Power seeds are not necessary. I know how to use them. I know how to push, but my type of seed is one that kind of throws some nice dragons, gets you to 22 that way, and you get power that sort of way. Little less immediate power, a little more maybe trickery, some oddball checks thrown in there. Not necessarily the River, but like the Zozo on Terra's End, or the Colts on Sabin's. Those tend to be my type of seeds, but I felt decent. Kefka and Nourish could have gone a little smoother. That was a few too many more encounters than intended, but overall, pretty good.
Yeah, one of the things that I really liked was on your Doom fight, you had your Mog get frozen, and he thought him out with the fire knuckle. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, so apparently that does work that way. I don't know. I went, what do I got in my inventory to... I was like, maybe I'll equip the heal rod, heal myself a little bit, and sit there, and then went, Fire Knuckle, equipable. Maybe you'll proc and thaw out Mog. Doesn't need to proc.
Yeah. I also thought it needed to proc, but yeah, as it turns out, I learned something new today. And also, we are joined by Physics Shebang in the booth. GG's to you, my friend. How are you? First of all, been a little bit.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Thank you very much. Joe, GG's, man. I thought I was doing really good. I was feeling real confident, and I saw you finish like, oh, so close. So we were probably one tier apart from each other the whole time.
Sounds that way. Looking at the Esper character count, did you do Imperial Base?
Imperial Base, you mean like Terra's check, the sealed gate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sealed gate, yeah.
I did. I kind of just followed the characters around as optimally as I possibly could, and it generally worked out. The biggest hit was Opera House. Being dead was pretty unfortunate, but it did prepare me for the Magimaster in Magitech, which I bungled really bad, and I was very upset about it when I realized the order of operations I should have gone. I could have killed him in 2 hits. Instead, I floundered around for like 2 or 3 minutes.
I didn't Berserk was nice, but yeah.
I actually might have had Berserk and didn't notice it. I actually probably did, but all I had to do was crack a shield and drop a Bahamut, and he would have been dead. But I did Bahamut first and kind of ruined the whole like doing non-elemental damage after he puts his shield up. So if I cracked a shield and just blasted it at Bahamut, he would have been done instantly. So that was about 2 minutes lost there, but everything else felt like it went really good. I mean, Magitech and Valiant Knife go burr, right?
Yeah. If you buy the offering sooner than 40 minutes, but besides that,
I actually did not need the offering. I went up and I got it up at Narsh Dragon while pushing for skip.
That's fair.
As far as the Magic Master goes, I think it's just like you get jump scared and it just causes you to not think, right? Because I do that like all the time, where it's like, okay, I need to crack a shield or break a rod and then do Bahamut, and then I just do it in the reverse order. It feels bad every time.
Exactly. I mean, it was a 2-hit kill. Instead, I almost wiped and only managed to not die because he hit me with fire and healed up Mog and didn't kill him. So he blessed me, but it was still like a 2-minute time loss just from the tiniest misordering of of spells, which it happens, like you said.
Meanwhile, I got Grood with a VK offering user. Admittedly, they needed to get back to squishy, but so it was good on that end, but Welk at the 50-minute mark should be dying. He's my enemy, my mortal enemy.
Understandably so.
Yeah, sometimes when you want those multi-target attacks to hit a single thing, it never does.
Based on what you said, you got Skip, I take it?
I did. Well, I went ahead and did a Fanatic's Tower because of the fact that it had my last Esper, and I looked at my check count, and I was at like 15, I think, so I knew I was going to get out of there at 18. I knew I could go do top of Narsh for the 2 checks there, straight through mid and save time. I did take about 30 seconds, 45 seconds going and buying armor at the very end because I was wearing paper. The joy of doing a jet seed like this, I felt real squishy, so I purchased a couple little things for safety.
Tier 1 was punchy. Yeah, I'll put that out there. Where was Strago?
Where was Strago? Everything is a blur, I'm not gonna lie.
Sealed Gate Cave.
Strago was Sealed Gate, and then on Judge Joe's side, he got Cyan.
I skipped Cyan. I saw it. I was like, no, thank you. And then I looked for my last Esper instead, so I never got around to that.
Zozo put me at 9, so I was at character, so I'm like, I'll pivot, I'll peek Mobliz before heading to Sealed Gate, and well, it was a character. It got me to level 44 or so on Setzer, so he had Sword Tech 7 and a billion strength. Realm was there with throw. She was support. She tried.
Isn't that wild? A 55 magic power realm, and she's just support.
Things you never thought you'd say.
Well, I was just blasting.
There wasn't really a good time to get her mage. She didn't have time to become a thrower of doom. She was just a little late for me.
Yeah, she had Bolt 3, and that was really about it. She had Merton, but I was always one piece too short and didn't care anyway. It helped me get through the last check with her. She was on a solo lane and blasted Umaro with it, but I mean, Kefka was... How long was that Kefka? Probably like 5 or 6 minutes? Like, I blitzed that thing, because I was doing 40,000 with Mog with Quick. So I was able to throw down like 80 grand.
Yeah, let's see.
I had a bit more trouble with Kefka. I had a slow phase 1, very slow. I think I used about 6 to 7 Phoenix Downs in the final fight.
Oh, I think only Mog died to 10 hits, and then it was just... That was about it. A funny thing happened. I don't know if... I'm sure everybody saw it, but Tier 3 in typical Tier 3 fashion. Number 1, I got perma-frozen, which is great.
Yep.
So 2 people got permanently frozen in Tier 2, and then I finished it off, and they were just permanently like that, and I had no fire with the characters that were still around. And then, in true Kefka fashion, he went ahead and blasted them both, and apparently if you're frozen, image doesn't matter. So just keep that in mind, because they both got blasted with calmness, 100%.
Yep.
Didn't matter, but it confused me. I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, if you're frozen... If you're frozen or if you're stopped, you cannot avoid anything like that.
My oddball thing, and might have been I just heal forced without thinking about it. I feel like I saw a white wind, and thinking about it, I probably heal forced, but I saw a white wind, thought it hit Sellies, then went for my lethal blow because I had Fenrir up, and then I just hit the next phase with full health Sellies, so I'm pretty sure I just instinctively healed.
That's okay. I thought I was using Bahamut on Realm, and instead I casted Phoenix. So that was fun.
I saw the angry face on your stream.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I put that on just in case I needed it. I made sure to just flash it every now and then, a couple times.
Yeah,
We were
that was pretty
wondering
good.
what that was.
So just a couple of stats for y'all. Judge Joe, you stepped on the switches at 57 minutes and 31 seconds, and then your time was a 1:08:04. Physic, you... Oh, dang, the run, or the room just ended. You stepped on the switches at 1:03:29, and you ended 1:10:33, it looked like, so...
Yeah, 1:10:32 was the official time.
Okay, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, you had a much quicker final climb check, but unfortunately, Joe just got in there a little earlier.
Yeah, it sounds like the checks he chose were better for going a little bit faster because Fanatics doesn't really accommodate speed very much. But
I appreciate a good Fanatics.
it seemed like the right move, and I mean, we were apart by 2 minutes, so
Yeah,
I'm
2
okay. 2 minutes. I mean, that just makes for an awesome race. Like I had a good time with it. I know, like it probably seemed like I might have a chance to catch up with how fast I was blitzing on Kefka, but I think that was great. I think we're both very evenly matched. I've always said Joe is a smidge better than me, and he proved it today. He's a hell of a runner, so he'll be bringing it to you in Mega Elixir next season.
Bring it on. Let's go.
You should be joining me if I recall. It's top 2, isn't it?
It is top 2, and the both of yous are number 1 and number 2. So yeah, I mean, we all knew that this was going to be a phenomenal race. Like, regardless of what the seed actually threw at you, and it's just that, as it turns out, the seed was very, very generous today. So, thank you both for putting on just a phenomenal show. We really appreciate it.
Glad we were able to make the time work. I thought about it a couple weeks. Oh dear, I just looked at my text again. Looks a little less clear on stream than it did for me in game.
It's all good. We could make out most of it. Yeah, no worries.
We just had to pick on you just a little bit for it, though.
Yeah. All right. So before we let you go, any final memes? We'll start with you, Physics Shebang.
Any final memes? No, not really. I just want to, say thank you to everybody. Gar and Dwyer, thank you so much for commentating with Cheech back there, working with the tracker, which I know can be a very difficult job. Joker Mage, thanks for putting this all on. And Judge Joe, thanks for putting on a clinic today. It's always a pleasure to run with you. And, if anybody's been watching this and liked what they saw or, really want to try and get into this, please check us out over at ff6worldscollide.com. You can go there, join the Discord. We love newer players, and we love to teach newer players how to run. So we'd love to have you. Come on over.
Heck yeah. Joe, final memes.
Pretty much same types of things. Always appreciate watching races. Always appreciate racing them. So thanks everyone involved. Glad both of us had a nice, pretty clean run to just make it real interesting, and hope you enjoyed.
Awesome. Yeah. Once again, thank you both for racing. Can't have the restreams without the runners, and this was a very, very close race. So thank you both again. Good luck in the remaining 2 races for the league, and see you in Mega Elixir.
Much appreciated. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
And with that is going to do it for our restream tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Special shout outs to SpeedGaming, as always, for allowing us to put our game on your channel. It is always much appreciated. Thank you very much. To my co-commentator, Dwyer. Dwyer? What is it? What is it, Dwyer or Dwyer? Sorry.
I say it both ways in my head, so I don't think either one's wrong, but yeah, Dwight works.
All right. Thank you so much for being my co-commentator. This was a lot of fun. I haven't done this in a while, and it's good to do it with somebody who is very passionate about the game. So thank you very much.
Couldn't put it better myself. Had a great time commentating with you tonight. Thank you again, Cheech. Thank you, Joker Mage. Had one heck of a restream team tonight. Again, I'm just kind of repeating what you said about thanking SpeedGaming for letting us really being able to display what we love. Really want to do it again sometime with Yar. We got to do it again.
Heck yeah. All right. And yeah, I don't think I said it either. Thank you very much, Joker Mage. And thank you very much, Cheech. Restream team, just knocking it out of the park as always. So with that is going to do it for our time here. I want to wish you all a very good evening, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night.